Hey guys, welcome to DevOpsSchool. Kubernetes is one of the most popular technology in cloud computing as of today. Learning Kubernetes is essential for any DevOps professional, and one of the most in-demand certification is Kubernetes Administration. In this session and in this series, we are going to learn various aspects of Kubernetes Administration, which will help you to prepare for the Certified Kubernetes Administration exam or CKA exam. This series is divided into 20 parts, therefore subscribe to our channel and follow the playlist for complete understanding.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOpsSchool certification level courses, which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry-level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Rajesh Kumar, and I'll be your trainer and faculty for Kubernetes. And earlier we had a Docker certification session also. Some of the person who have joined continued with the Kubernetes also. So we have a combined batch of the Docker and Kubernetes. By the way, for the Kubernetes, the prerequisite is Docker. So I'm not sure about how many of you are comfortable with the Docker, but if you're not, please go through the Docker session and then practice it, because to understand the Kubernetes, you need to know Docker very well. So that's important. Now, yes, so these sessions which we are having Kubernetes end-to-end, probably will have us somewhere close to 20 sessions, and these 20 sessions I'll take it only, and then help you to get through the certifications and knowing about the Kubernetes, and then deep dive into the Kubernetes, and then using the Kubernetes for the production as well. So any help which you need it, we will get you this. Yes, these recordings will be available in the DevOpsSchool LMS, so that will be accessible to all of you. And I'll have this access, get it done. So the recordings will be available, slides will be available, all the reference material, example programs will be available to you. Anyways, I'm available on the WhatsApp, so you can also ping me for anything which you got missed out. So I'll help you with it. So let's get started.
Rajesh, Kamran here. Just a quick question. Did you say 20 sessions for Kubernetes only?
Yes, that's correct. Almost 20 plus session.
All right, okay. And how long will one session will be? Like, will it be 2 hour session or an hour session?
Approximate 1.5 hour session, approximate every day, because I won't get too much of talking energy. If it is a demo sort of things, definitely you may have a little bit longer, but if it is a discussion sort of it, probably at max 1 hour, 1.5 hours.
That is great. That is great. So it will be complete Kubernetes, like you will cover the KubeADM as well, KubeADM and kubectl and Minikube and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything.
That's great. That's great. So how will these sessions run? Like, will they be on daily basis or will they be?
So that the agenda will share with you. No problem with that. Okay.
No, I mean,
so
can we have a schedule?
These sessions, these questions we can cover later also. I'll share with you this agenda. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Rajesh.
Okay. Okay, guys. So let's get started. So this is our first session. So let's get our hands dirty into this. So what is Kubernetes? So let me tell you here. Next 4 session, almost next 4 session, probably, I'm going to only talk about what is Kubernetes, why Kubernetes, how Kubernetes works, how to use Kubernetes, and only discussion through the slides. And there are reason for it. I hate slides, to be honest, but Kubernetes is a kind of topic in which we need it actually, discussions. Because let me tell you here, Kubernetes is one of the very easiest tool. If you know what is Kubernetes, how Kubernetes works, and why Kubernetes. Because commands and all, it's damn simple. Everything is so simple once you know these 3-4 questions and answers. And for that reason only, so rest of the class, it should be easy for you. We are spending so much of time on discussions. Okay, so let's get started here. So now Kubernetes will bring health, wealth, happiness. The question is, how come? How come Kubernetes will bring health, wealth, and happiness? I would request you, everyone, to please focus on the discussion. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask me, stop me, interrupt me, and then we'll get going. But only related to the Kubernetes today. No anything else. Not anything else. Okay. So now the question is how Kubernetes can bring health to me. How Kubernetes can bring wealth to me, and how a Kubernetes bring happiness. We need to understand health, wealth, happiness. So let me tell you here, it will bring health to you, to the employees or the project engineer who's working on any projects. Okay, it will bring wealth. It will generate a wealth for an organization. And once we are healthy and our organization is rich, we both are happy, right? That is what exactly. So the question is how we can be healthy, how can our organization be wealthy, and we both should be happy. How? So for the answering how to be healthy, how to generate, how to get the wealth and happiness, you need to understand what is Kubernetes, and then you need to understand Kubernetes architecture. Then you have to install Kubernetes, then work with the pods, deployment, and many more. Actually, there's so many topics out there. So we'll get started. So let's get started this journey. So first, let's know what is a Kubernetes. So if you want to know the Kubernetes, they are typically you need to know 4 questions answer. The Kubernetes, where did it come from? What does it do? What does the name mean? And why do we have? So if you have answered these questions, if you have the answer of these questions, you know what is Kubernetes. So yes, Kubernetes is born in Google. Okay, born in Google. Yes, Google is the one who's the father of Kubernetes. It got donated to CNCF in 2014 as part of the open source initiative. CNCF, those who don't know, please go and Google it. Now, CNCF is one of the vibrant organization governing the most of the hot technology in the open source space. Okay. So they have so many products, and all products are so vibrant, so good, and so helping every world community and world in the IT domain, and that's the reason they are very popular. So now this product is written in Golang. You know that the product is from Google, so of course this will be written in Golang. Source code you can find on the github.com. Their website is kubernetes.io. Slack channels they have meetups group, official groups also. You may join if you want it. So this is the where did it come from. Okay, look at this here. Now if you see that, look at the evolution of the Kubernetes. So if you think the Kubernetes has come from the Borg and Omega, this is not the right statement to be honest. Now the question is what is Borg and what is Omega? I think that's out of context. I would not like to go into that topic, but let me give you some visualization. You see the Google infrastructure. Google infrastructure is just a vast infrastructure which you have, which is never be down, highly available. Only few people can manage the whole infrastructure. Google is so happy about that. So much of wealth Google is able to generate because there's such a large infrastructure is being managed by such a small set of peoples. How that is possible? So basically, they are getting help from the tools like a platform like a Borg and Omega. So yes, Google is empowered by Borg and Omega. This is a proprietary tool. Now, Kubernetes also can do something like that. Yes, Kubernetes also can do something like that. And on top of that, Kubernetes also has I think there's some audio issues. Are you not able to hear me?
I can hear Rajesh.
I can
Okay,
hear.
so-
I too can hear.
Okay.
I can hear Rajesh, but if you can be a little bit louder, maybe more close to the mic.
Okay, sure. So let me use mic instead. So that will be better quality for you as well. But someone messaged me saying that he's not able to hear me or something like that.
No, I can hear now. I can hear now.
What about now? Can you hear me well?
Yes, Raj.
Yep. Great. Okay, so yes, I was talking about where did it come from? From where the Kubernetes has come from? So basically, we cannot say this is a evolution of the Borg and Omega because we don't know everything about the Borg and Omega, but we know the Google is such a sophisticated infrastructure is running with the help of the Borg and Omega, and Kubernetes has same quality. Kubernetes has the same feature, so we can say DNA is matching from the Borg and Omega, but it is not like an evolution of the Borg and Omega. No. And Kubernetes is open source, by the way. So yes. Now the next question is, what does it mean? What is the meaning of Kubernetes? So the meaning of Kubernetes, it is a basically Greek word, okay, that is called helmsman. Helmsman are the person who steers a ship. So what is the meaning of it? So basically, if you see, there is one fishing boat, smallest fishing boat, that is also controlled by one person, right? And you see the aircraft carrier, like you can hold hundreds of fighter aircraft, and they're so large. If you look at this, there are so many oil tankers also, they are so large, okay, that such a large ship also is been managed by one person. So the person who's managing and giving the direction to the ship, there's only one person, and he is the helmsman in the Greek word. So Kubernetes is also can manage such a large data centers which has a 1 or 2 or 5 computers or 5,000 computers. So this is the kind of power of Kubernetes. You can understand this. Okay, in short, we call it KATS. So yes, ultimately born in Google, donated to CNCF in 2014. It's an open source initiative. First release has happened in July 2015, 1.0, written in Golang. Its source code is available, websites, Slacks, meetups, DNA is from the Borg and Omega, and often sorted to Kubernetes, KATS. Now the question is what and why. So we discussed what, that is completed. What is Kubernetes? Now the question is why we are using Kubernetes, why we all are trying to learn Kubernetes, why we spend so much of time learning this technology. What is the reason behind this? Okay, so we need to understand this. We need to understand this one very carefully. Okay, why we need Kubernetes? And the answer is this one. Containers bring scalability challenges, and we are starting to view the data center as a one computer. These two statements you have to hard code. You have to by heart and understand very well, and you have to practice almost every day. Containers bring scalability challenges, and we are starting to view the data center as a computer. Now the question is, those who do not understand what is container, please, you have a time. We have a session, I think every second day or something like that. You have a time. Please get your hand dirty in containers technology, Docker, and learn some things. I am not sure about it. I did not have a voting. How many of you are aware, at what level you are aware? But for Kubernetes, containers are prerequisites. For example, if you want to write a Bible, or if you want to write a book or something like that, novel, then you have to learn alphabets. So it's like that. You need to know the containers, then only you can know the Kubernetes. Okay, so it's like this. Now, what is the meaning of it? Containers bring scalability challenges, and we're starting to view the data center as a one computer. So this is the reason these two lines are there, two statements are there. Because of that, we are using Kubernetes. So now let's try to understand that. Okay, and here I'll try to help you with the pictorial diagram. Think about it. Here we stated containers bring scalability challenge. Why? So let's understand that. This is the one this is the one laptop, oh sorry, computer, virtual machine, physical machine. It can be anything, right? It can be anything nowadays. It can be in public cloud, it can be private cloud, no problem. Now you know the containers, right? So in the host machine, it can be VMs. You have a Docker here installed, and now Docker architecture already I have discussed. Docker daemon, you know that Docker is here. It's a platform. Docker is a platform here. Now, if you want to create a container here, so you are going to inform this Docker, of course. So this Docker will manage this container. This Docker will manage this container. This Docker will manage this container also. Do you think this Docker daemon is going to manage this container? No, it's not possible, because Docker needs container D, run C, kernel, and where Docker will get here only. This is the kernel, right? This is the kernel. Think about it, Docker. So look at this here. Containers is running by the Docker, managing by Docker, and Docker is getting empowered by with the help of kernel, C groups, and namespaces, capabilities, and so on. Now the statement is containers bring scalability challenge. So let's say how many containers this host machine you can run. Let's say 3 or 30. What about if you want to run more containers? So let's say here you are running 10 containers. Here also running 10 containers. Okay, so now I'll just depict the different image. So like that, think about it. There's one host, one host, one host, one host. So here you have a 10 container. 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 Now, this 10 containers is managed by this Docker. This 10 container is managed by this Docker. This 10 container is managed by this Docker. This 10 container is managed by this Docker. But the question is, who will manage multiple Docker host? Who will manage? Docker has this capability? Answer is no. See here, you want to scale. You want to scale the containers. Containers has a scalability challenges. So now let's say you want to run 30 this container. So you cannot run here. You cannot run in the same box. So you have to add a node. You have to keep adding a node if you want to run application inside a container. Now the question is, who will manage these Docker host? That's the first problem. Correct? That's the first problem. Second problem, okay, and I believe you know the Docker networking also. Fundamentally, if you understand that Docker, all this container, the scope is local. That means this container is not accessible by outside. So if this container is not accessible by outside, how your end user will access these containers? Okay, so you think, okay, you do the -p proxy stuff like that, you can do that. That's cool, right? So here is Apache, and here also is you're running Apache. 80 port. So this you expose at 80 port. This again you cannot expose with 80 port. You have to expose with 81 port. See, one Apache is running with 80 port. Another Apache is running with 81 port. You tell me your load balancer will work or not? Tell me. because it need a single same port, all the host. So yes, it can only load balance 180 or 81. So load balancer will not work. So now the question is, you may have a hell lot of containers here, and so many desktop. The question is how these containers will be accessible from outside load balancer. So your end user should access one of each. How? Because the scope of the containers are local. So is there any way where we can use these containers outside and without a natting, without a proxy itself? Is there any way? Do we have that capability in Docker? No. So how can we get this? Because we want to use containers. We want to run application inside a containers. Why? It's faster, it's cheaper, it's better. But we cannot use at the production because of these are the limitation. Who can manage multiple hosts? Who can manage the accessibility of the containers outside of the host and make it available, highly available through load balancer? And guys, let's say another scenario. I'll not complicate the things here. Let's say there are 10 containers. Out of 5 containers got dead. Maybe some reason, or maybe this node itself got disappeared because of some hardware issues, some software issues, or some network issues, or anything reason. Remember, your whole application is running on let's say thousands of containers. Suddenly, out of 1,100 is offline because of some node issues. Now, this downtime will create a problem for your production, right? Because earlier it was having, let's say, 1,000, your traffic were running on 1,000, now it's running on 800, 900. So your request and response time which a user is getting, it will be getting impacted. So probably you'll be called midnight saying that, okay, production is down, get up, start working on it. Dev, QA, operation, manager, architect, everyone will get panic and then start solving the problem together. Health issues, right? Don't you think so? Who will take care of it? Let's say we don't want to do that. So do we have some tools which can do that? So here I just give you the 3 basic example, understanding the limitation of containers, limitation of Docker. So yes, containers bring scalability challenges, and these challenges, who will fix it? Okay, now who will fix it? Now second statement is, we are starting to view the data center as one computer. What does that mean? Think simple. See here, there's a kernel and there's a Docker, and no matter how many CPU here you add, how many RAM you run, how many storage you run, Docker view will entire compute unit as a one computer, right? It will not distinguish, right, whether you have a multiple CPU, multiple RAM, and multiple storage. No, still Docker will behave as if it's a one compute device. So same way, we need a technology which should look at, if you are running a container, see, Docker is viewing all containers, an entire system as a one computer, and create a containers anywhere. So we need a one system, we need a one platform, we need a one tool which can view all containers, all host of your data center where you are running in real, consider as a one computer, one compute unit. Do we have any such tool which can behave as if no matter whether you are 2 machine or 2,000 machine, it's a one cluster? Remember clustering concept. You know the definition of cluster, right? Cluster may have hundreds and thousands of machine. So here you see that clusters. See the image, data center. See. So is there any way, multiple machines? So is there any way where, is there any tool, is there any platform which can view the entire data center as one computer? Do we have it? Yes, Kubernetes. So Kubernetes can manage it. Kubernetes can help you to scale your containers across the node, and same time managing multiple hosts, making the containers accessible outside of the host, making the load balancer knowing and load balancing. Same time, if something goes wrong with a certain host, it will replace the job, it will reallocate the job from the another host. So yes, everything can be done by Kubernetes. So did you understand what is Kubernetes and why Kubernetes, right? Any questions so far?
Rajesh, is the Docker running Docker container, like, is it running one microservice or having a couple of microservices in each container?
Okay, so sorry, I couldn't understand. Docker is running microservices? No, I didn't understand this question at all.
No. I mean, Docker is managing those containers. So in those containers, are there a single microservice or a couple of microservices running?
So see here, understand that microservice is basically doing one function, right? One function, one activities, it will be done. Now how many copy of you want, it depends on your requirement. Let's say I want to run one microservices but 100 copy of it, okay, because of my load is too high. So it depends. So now microservices you may run in one container. Typically no one runs in the production, no one's run. You may need lots of containers for it. Why? Because you don't have one or two person as a client end user. You have thousands of people, and for the thousands of people, you don't know how many people are accessing that feature. So you need more containers actually in that case, right?
Hey, hi Rajesh.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you mean that the Kubernetes will be for the high availability, right? We cannot achieve this thing from the Docker side, right?
Docker Swarm is a competitor. I am saying containers, Docker. I'm not talking about the Docker Swarm. I am saying Docker has no capability. Containers has no capability. So we have a Kubernetes or Swarm who can manage and help you to get these challenges addressed. So Swarm is a competition with the Kubernetes, though it's not competition right now because everyone is using Kubernetes. I have not come across a person who is using Swarm from last 2 years. Earlier they've started using it, but again those people who were using Swarm, they migrated to the Kubernetes.
Okay, thank you.
Rajesh, I have a question. Hello, am I audible? Okay, so inside of one particular host, can we have? Okay, I know when Docker is a daemon which is running inside a host. I understand. So and it manages containers. It manages lots of containers. Can we have classify the containers into different sets like cluster 1, cluster 2 within the same node? Is it possible?
So here, think about it. Docker, you have one kernel, right? So you can have one Docker, and when you can have one Docker, you can run multiple containers through that. So clustered means you should be cluster. See, the definition of cluster is very wide. Whether you are looking for the cluster of containers, then one Docker can manage it. But scalability issues. So you need a cluster of node where multiple containers are running. That a Docker cannot manage it. So we need a Kubernetes.
Right? Fine, Rajesh. So that means inside a node, only one Docker daemon will be running. Is it right? Inside one computer for a kernel, only one Docker daemon will be running.
Right. Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay. Let's move on. Now we need to understand this slide very well. So we need to change our mindset. What mindset? So it's all about the pets versus cattle. When we were in a Docker, it's like we were playing with the containers, right? Containers, starting the containers, stopping the containers, pausing a containers, getting inside a containers, coming out of it containers, doing a lot of things in the with the containers. And we have spent so much of time with the containers also. Something goes wrong, then you started asking question, why is God not behaving good? Let's check it out the log. Why is not up? Why is not down? Why is not running? So many questions we had it. The same goes with the pets business, pets also. You have a pets in home, you take care of it, you play with it, you shower them, you feed them, you take to the doctor if something goes wrong. So everything you take care of it. But today you are not in a pets business, you are in a cattle business. Yes, you are in cattle business. And when you are in a cattle business, you only look at it, the number of liters of milk every day you need to deliver to your client. Yes, when you are in a cattle business, or when you are in an operations business, okay, you look at this, I need to run 1,000 instance every time. I don't want to run 999. I don't want to run 1001. I want to run 1,000 instance. The question is, who's going to take care of that? If something goes wrong, you're not worrying about it. So immediately replacing the one cattle. Let's say one cattle is not performing well, so that means your daily production is impacted, right? So what do? Immediately you replace the cattle, so your production should never be down. Think about it. You have to deliver 1,000 liters of milk every day. You are not associated, emotionally get attached to the cattle. You are very committed to the production. So same way, you have to have a mindset. You are in a cattle business, you are in operations, you want to run 1,000 number of instance of this application in a container. It should be 1,000. Because of some reason it become a 999 or 900 or 800 or 700, immediately something should be replacing and making the production up to the mark as per the desire. So we are in a different business altogether, pets versus cattle, and we are in a cattle business with Kubernetes. We all are using Kubernetes to run our production, not containers into the production at the mass level. So you have to understand this way. So the question is, what is Kubernetes? Now these are the official terminology what you have. Yes, Kubernetes is a container orchestrator. Orchestrator means it orchestrates at the large set of machines. Okay. Kubernetes is a workload placement tool. Workload placement means in the cluster you have a multiple host. Now Kubernetes will decide this container should be running in this host and this container should be running in that host. It will place the work equally in the different host. That is called workload placement. So who's doing it? Kubernetes will do that. Kubernetes is also known as infrastructure abstraction. Infrastructure abstraction means Kubernetes is a kind of tool which will do everything for you and without you getting into that. So you don't need to know the complexity, but still all of your desire is match. Whatever you have wished for, Kubernetes will get you done. So you don't need to dive into the complexity of the Kubernetes. And also Kubernetes is a tool which can help you to match the desired state. That means I need 1,000 liters, 1,000 containers. Who will help you? Kubernetes. If let's say Kubernetes, some host is down because of some reason, you don't need to worry about. You don't need to get up in the early morning or late night. Who will do that on behalf of you? Kubernetes. And that's the reason we say you get health. Organization will be able to run containers at the cheaper cost, so they get wealth. Both of you get happiness. So this is what a Kubernetes. So what is the benefit of using Kubernetes? A lot of benefit. So one thing is speed of deployment. See, earlier when you want to deploy a software from version 1 to version 2, version 2 to version 3, how much time it takes? A lot. Let me tell you here. Recently, IDBI, I have a very recent experience. Recently, IDBI upgraded their software. I must tell you, give you the feedback. One of the worst software designed, they have it, but they took almost 2 days to upgrade the entire system. 2 days. Yes, here you get the speed of deployments. You can change the logic. You can upgrade the system within a few seconds. Yes, few seconds I said. Few seconds I said. So yeah, you get a speed of deployment. Another benefit of using Kubernetes is ability to observe changes quickly. That means, okay, today I want version 1, tomorrow I want version 1.2, again I want 3, again I want to roll back to 1.2. So roll out, roll back so fast. Who can do that? Who can help you? Kubernetes. You don't have to worrying about it. How is being done? Abstraction. That's the beauty about the tools. So yes, it has the ability to observe changes quickly, ability to recover quickly, as like you want to roll back. Within a second, you are roll backing everything. And hide complexity in the cluster. That means you don't need to know anything about it. It's everything is there, but it's hidden in the cluster. That's the beauty of the Kubernetes. I said you understand the Kubernetes, how it works and what it is, and you get Kubernetes all the feature within a certain few commands, which can be learned within a few days itself. Okay, so now Kubernetes is moving fast. Yes, that's true. We see so many changes has happened. Almost every 1.5 months or 2 months we have a new releases. New feature is coming up every week, every month. Old feature is getting deprecated. So much of changes which is happening actually. So yes, best way to be in touch with technology, keep practicing it, keep knowing about it, keep reading it, keep following the DevOpsSchool.com blogs. Okay, you get the things as per the things. So yes, Kubernetes is moving fast, and the only one way to be in touch with these changes is to be always using, always reading, and stuff like that. With that, we need to know how Kubernetes works. We need to know Kubernetes architecture, how Kubernetes can bring health, wealth, and happiness. Okay, so did you understand what is Kubernetes and why Kubernetes and what are the benefit of Kubernetes? Did you understand that? Any questions so far?
Rajesh, when you say the workload placement, so does it mean like Kubernetes is like a load balancer?
Yes, you are correct. But here I did not talk about the Kubernetes as a load balancer. Let me tell you here, Kubernetes does have that feature. But here when I say workload placement, you think about it. You are managing. Let me create a new image out of it because that is spoiled. Let's say here 1 node, 2 node, 3 node, 4 node, 5 node, 100 node. Now this is the Kubernetes. How? See here you have a 10 container. Here it could be 1. Here it can be 0. Here it can be 15. Here it can be 50. This is not good, right? See, these machines are not utilized at all. This machine is highly utilized. So who will be responsible for managing the workload placement? That means who will be managing distributing the application runtime infrastructure in all of your cluster of your nodes? Kubernetes. So Kubernetes will say 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, or 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, like this. If it is an odd, I'm just giving you this idea. Okay, there's a scheduler which I'll discuss about architecture in the architecture. You will understand about it. But that is what I'm trying to say here. Kubernetes will help you to do the placement of the work in the multiple node cluster. Is that clear?
Yeah, and also in the next slide, like you said, like ability to recover quickly. So does it mean that there are containers which are like redundant containers which have a backup of the working containers so that it can switch to those containers when there is a failure?
No, I did not say that. There's no blue-green deployment sort of it. No. What happens? The question is, I will ask you in return, how much time it takes to create a container? You tell me.
It should be a few milliseconds.
Yes, you answer my question. So now the question is, let's say 1.2 is bad release and I want to recover back to 1.1. So how much time it will take? Milliseconds. Now let's say you have deployed application in a physical machine or virtual machines. How much time it will take to recover? At least a few minutes I am talking about. Maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, right? So that's not the case here. So yes, you have got wrong release, recovering is very fast. You got the new release, rollout is very fast, and that's the benefit of Kubernetes. So we all are using this one, and the question is why we all are running behind the Kubernetes? Because we are in the world of microservices. Look at this. Earlier we were having monolithic, then we got into the SOA concept, then microservices. We don't have one software. We have one software we have 200 microservices, and we want to deploy faster. We don't want to wait for a 2 days downtime, 1 day downtime. We want to get it done everything in the matter of seconds. So yes, the benefit you should get it here is to ability to observe changes quickly and ability to recover quickly, and that's the benefit Kubernetes is giving to you. You are not doing anything. You are happy person because of Kubernetes. You are happy person because of you are not stressing for each and everything, because everything is done by Kubernetes. You just need to instruct Kubernetes. You see here it says you just desire state. That means Kubernetes will help you to manage your desired state. You just perform your desire, and then Kubernetes will do that for you. But let me tell you here the things which I'm going to teach you here only to how to express your desire in YAML or JSON, nothing else, because Kubernetes is the king. Everything is done by Kubernetes.
Rajesh,
yes.
Does it support the can we release in Kubernetes?
Can we release means?
So if I say the use case, if I say I have a microservice which is currently being running in Kubernetes, and I did a new version. So the production release version is 1.1. I want to do 1.2 with a cosmetic change, and I want to do a kind of a shadow release. So out of 1,000 pods which are running, I just want to introduce only one pod of the new release.
Maybe not one pod, some of pods. Let's say 5% of your capacity you want to keep it in the new release with the new release, and then remaining 95% older release. Is that
Yes.
is what you want?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, this is very much possible, and this is the easiest way. Let me tell you here, not very difficult. Very easiest way. You don't have to struggle for this. You don't have so many war rooms, so many meetings, so many coordination between the architect, design, developers, QA, operations, management. It's just a matter of few seconds. You can get this one done.
Another question to add to that. So does Kubernetes give out-of-box monitoring solution? So say the cattle are getting sick and getting replaced. I want to see the ratio.
See here, let's understand this way. If you think here, there's a one statement I made here, helps you to manage the desired state. So Kubernetes will manage their own pods. Right now the question is, what is a pod? I did not answer you, so that's the reason I don't want to confuse you. So I would use the keyword called containers, because I believe you understand the containers very well. So now yes, Kubernetes manages the containers pod, whatever it is, very well. Now the number of desire, if it is not matching with the number of actual, then the Kubernetes will do that needful stuff. In that case, Kubernetes will monitor it. That's called controller basically. But if you want to monitor, let's say, logs of Kubernetes, logs of application containers, logs of pods, and health of pods, or many other things like, say, infra monitoring, like a host monitoring, or maybe a performance monitoring or security monitoring, no, Kubernetes will not help you in this case. You have to use other tooling stacks like Prometheus. You can use C Advisor, you can use your Heapstars, you can use a Datadog. There's so many tools are there actually here in this case. ELK stack for the log monitoring you can use. So yes, you have to use. So let me tell you, Kubernetes alone cannot fulfill all of your desire of the production, but this is the heart of your operations. Kubernetes would be a heart of your operations.
Got it. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other?
Yeah, you use something called pod, right? When you say pod, is it a container? What you say pod, or is it something different?
lots of you have to bear with me 2 more days for that. What is a pod? So at the end I will
Okay.
explain you what is a pod. But yes, if you can
Okay.
read little bit, so it's like a good practice. I would request you all to read it and then come to classes. And if you want to be more effective this session, why don't you do one thing? We have a DevOps school channel on YouTube, and many recordings are available on YouTube also. Please watch it and then come to this class, so that way you have a more interesting questions, and probably this session will help you more, because once you come with the preparation, you have lots of good questions actually. Yeah, but yeah, pod I will explain you anyways, but I think second or third class.
Yes, Rajesh. And I also have one more question. Will you also show us how to do different type of deployments in Kubernetes, like canary release, blue-green deployments, all type of? I think there are 7 or 8 deployment types. Right? Will you also show us all this?
So let me tell you here, this is not a part of Kubernetes, and this is not a part of the certification also. These are the deployment patterns. These are the deployment concept using that you follow in the production. Yes, that is possible, that can be doable. Okay, you can do that, that's not a problem, but probably I'll not be able to cover this because I don't want to compromise the content of the certification program, so that way it's off the track. Probably if you want to see those stuff, please you check it out, the Jenkins videos of mine on YouTube, or there is one more I'll just check out if I have some videos. I don't remember right now. There's some courses which I had done it, so I'll just check it out and then I'll see if you can get those videos also.
So Rajesh, is there any Kubernetes certification along with Docker?
Yes, so at the end of it, this is the preparation training for certifications only. So you will be preparing for the certification. Yes, and the certification means everything you have to learn. So this is in line towards the certification. And there's one more course which is running, which is called MDE, Master in DevOps Engineering. I think some of the participants has come from that session also. So I think we have a mix of questions. So please do not mix the questions here. This session is completely dedicated to Kubernetes and Kubernetes certification. MD sessions. In that we will use the Kubernetes for the production use with the real-time scenario with the different set of tools. Not only Kubernetes, but more tools like Prometheus, ELK, C Advisor, so many other tools we'll use in that program. So please do not mix up the questions both the places.
Yeah,
Okay,
hi,
guys.
Rajesh.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Rajesh, I have one question.
Yeah.
Actually, in application, we are using the load balancer for the high availability using the AHEs, auto scaling groups, right? So same thing, Kubernetes help for the container, right here?
Yeah, so Kubernetes, what you said, sir? I missed out your last statement.
Yeah, here for the container high availability, the Kubernetes will be going to help to us, right?
Yes. So yeah, in a simple way, yeah, high availability, that means one pod or one containers at any time, it should be available for my microservices. Yes, so who will take care of it? Kubernetes, that's for sure. That's let me tell you the keyword, we call it service in Kubernetes. That will make sure that one of the pod is available all the time. That means one of the containers will be available at a time to serve your request with the help of the Kubernetes. So I think services, we'll talk about in 6th or 7th session. So we have to spend lots of time with other prerequisite before that into the services, but it will do that. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions, guys? Okay, so I'll let it get till here only, because after this I don't want to complete halfway the next thing, architecture, because I want to complete architecture in one class itself. So if I start, then probably it will take a little bit more time, but in the next class, which is day after tomorrow, we have a session. I would like to complete architecture in one go itself. So that way we have a dedicated recordings for the architecture. So in future also, if you want to access it, you hit the correct videos and then get through that. Okay, so I'm going to meet you day after tomorrow again, and then we'll cover the architecture stuff, and then after that we'll get into the installing stuff. So it's like this: what is Kubernetes, why Kubernetes, how Kubernetes works, that's the architecture discussion, and then installing Kubernetes, and then we'll start the simple commands which will create lots of magic around it and then get going. Okay, any last questions which anyone have before wrapping up this session?
So, is there any competitor within the cloud platforms, like in AWS? Is there anything similar to Kubernetes?
There are few. One of this, which someone said already, Swarm is one of the major competitor here for Kubernetes. Other competitors, to be honest, I'm not very much sure. I heard like Mesos, which I have not used it, but it's one of the competitor. But yes, could be a few more, but because it's a new tech, it's like a world where that every month we have new technologies which is getting introduced. So nothing. Yeah, but by the way, I have created one blog actually. I must tell you here. So if you want to know really the entire stack of the Kubernetes, and in fact I made it as a feature blog actually. So that way, because these questions people ask very frequently, and almost every day I'm hearing this question 4 to 5 times. So I put it in the feature. So every time it will be showing at least a month. It will be showing on top. And this article is here. List of popular tools and application in Kubernetes ecosystem. Again, I'm improving slowly this article, and I will keep working on it. But if you look at this, these are the number of tools which you may use in the Kubernetes itself. If you look at this, not only the Kubernetes, there's so many things apart from the Kubernetes which you have to learn to make this in the production. So yes, I'm improving here. I'll keep working on it. But yeah, some of the tools, like one of the Istio you have to use, Envoy you have to use, monitoring infrastructure, and so many tools are there here. Okay, so just check it out if this will help you, and then get going.
So if you talk about the EKS kind of thing, does that take away all the need to understand that? It will abstract that, or we need to know all the architectural details of Kubernetes?
No. So EKS are fully managed services. Okay, EKS are fully managed services, and they have created a platform as a service. So you don't need to know the architecture detail. Yes, that's true. You don't need to know. But because the managed service, they are managing everything for you in terms of availability of masters, worker, and remaining services of the Kubernetes. Backup is done, have a higher availability, everything they are taking care of it, so you are paying for it. But for the certification you need this one.
Oh yeah, I understand. Just general question. And I assume in your further series of session, I think it will cover the how to set up the Kubernetes on the bare metals. It will cover that aspect, I assume.
Yes, that's a very much core part of it. It's not a bare metal, I must tell you here. We don't get a bare metal. We will set up in the we'll set up in the virtual machines. It can be in cloud, it can be anywhere the virtual machines will use for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Rajesh,
okay, guys. So yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, Suresh here. As part of this training, could you please go through what are the topics we are going to cover for this CKA training?
I don't know whether you have got the agenda or not. It should be, right? I'm not sure about why this question is coming now, because I think everyone must go through the agenda. So if you go to here, certification and Kubernetes, just a second. Here it is. So I think Mantosh might have shared with you for sure. I feel so, but not. Please spend some time here. So all these topics we'll cover here. So security, storage, troubleshooting, logging, monitoring, here scheduling, application lifecycle, clustering, networking, installation. We are here somewhere. See here. This is a 19%. You see that 20% almost. You have to spend time here. That's the reason I told you this is a very important session. 20% of questions will be asked in the from the discussions which we are making today and tomorrow also.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Okay, guys. So yes, one more thing I would like to tell you here. There's so many videos are there. DevOpsSchool.com/videos. Please come with a preparation. That will be superb actually. So that way we will have a right audience. And in fact, I would enjoy answering all of your questions, and it will be challenging for me also. So here, these so many sessions has been conducted in the past, and it's a part 4 like that, part 8, and all this thing numbering and all. You can see that. Try if you get a time. Please come with the preparation. If not, anyways, I will cover. That's not a problem. But yes, that will be faster if you come with the preparation.
Are those sessions that are the duplicate of what you're going to go through, or it is something to complement what you're going to do?
No, these sessions I have recorded in 2018, I believe, if I'm not wrong. So it's long back. So now the session which we are having today is like a new content altogether and new things you learn. Remember, I told you Kubernetes is moving fast. So every year we have so many changes. It's like you have to learn again. You have to get into that. So
yep,
like that. Okay. So any other questions, guys?
That's it, Rajesh. I think we should call it a day.
Yep. Okay, guys. Good night. Have a nice evening. Enjoy. Bye, everyone. Be safe.
And keep us updated, Rajesh, once you share the recording. Thanks a lot.
Sure. I'll keep buzzing on the WhatsApp group.
Thanks, Rajesh.
Can you add me as well to the WhatsApp group, because I think I have not been added to the WhatsApp group.
I think Mantosh will do that. Basically, I'm not coordinating because too much of work for me. So he will do that for you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. To watch our complete session, enroll for our premium membership. Click onto the join button and enroll yourself with the best suited option. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOps School channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.